Human trafficking is defined by the United Nations and the United Nations Office of Drug and Crime as the recruitment, transportation, transferring, harboring, or receipt of persons by the use of threats of violence or forms of coercion, of abduction, of fraud, deception, with abuse of power or of position of vulnerability, or giving or receiving of payments or benefits to achieve the total consent of having domination over another person.
Forced labor is when people are forced to work for little or no wages. It's everywhere, even in the United States. The Asia-Pacific region of the world accounted for the largest number of trafficked laborers in the world, with over 11.7 million trafficked laborers. Roughly 56% of those trafficked all around the world. Africa had 3.7 million people, roughly 18%, and Latin America had 1.8 million victims, roughly 9%. The developed economies in the European Union, including the United States and Canada among that, accounted for 1.5 million people, and the Middle East accounted for about 600,000 people. Among the 21 million forced laborers in the world, 26% are children.
Sex trafficking is the other form of trafficking. These victims are forced or coerced to participate in the sex industry. Traffickers will also often use violence, threats, debt bondage to force their victims to engage in the sex industry, sometimes luring them in with a promise of a job or a romantic relationship. These traffickers then resort to different means to keep their victims isolated from almost everyone in order to keep complete control over them. This control prevents victims from believing they are able to leave the situation, because the trafficker often abuses them and confiscates any forms of identification and money. Women are also much more likely to be victims of sex trafficking than men. Children are also more vulnerable to sex trafficking, especially migrant and runaway children. In fact, it is estimated that 1 in 6 runaways reported are likely to become victims of sex trafficking.
So, how do internet predators gain your trust? First, they may friend you on social media, and they then may start having long conversations with you. For example, they may try to create a relationship by talking about their interests that are similar to yours, such as liking J-Beebs. Or they can start sharing videos with you that may start to become inappropriate in content, or they eventually may try to meet you in person.
Hello, how are you?
Who is this really weird person?
I'm doing great. So how do you feel about the new Bieber album?
Oh, maybe he's not so bad. We both like J-Beebs.
So do you go to school around here?
I probably shouldn't tell him where I go to school, though.
Maybe we can catch the football game and then go to DQ for ice cream if you want.
This is really weird. Maybe I should stop responding.
Why? My mom will be there. She can give us a ride.
Oh, but his mom's coming. But maybe I should still ask my dad.
If anybody ever makes you feel weird, whether online or off, or you're ever reminded of anything you've seen here, be sure to tell an adult you trust, like your parents or guardians.
How can you tell when someone's being trafficked or is in danger of being trafficked? Your friend might become distant, have sudden mood changes, and might stop hanging out with you. They might stop doing activities they used to love. They might sneak out from home and skip school a lot. They might somehow have a lot of money they didn't have before. Maybe they have unexplained injuries, and they may be reliant on an adult you've never met before who's not their parent or their guardian, someone you might not have met and might not trust. If you notice a friend or someone you know is doing any of these things, exhibiting any of these signs, tell an adult you trust and let them look into it.
Here are some safety tips. Be careful about where you post pictures and status updates that could be used to disclose your exact location. Do not post any vital information online. Turn off any location services, including social media. Do not trust anyone you know online. Even if someone says they're a certain age or person, anyone can lie online. And do not become friends with anyone you don't know on social media.